Yeah. Hey all, I wanted to introduce you to someone I met recently. Well, his group I'm meeting everybody almost seems like, but today I'm going to introduce you to Benjamin Kogut. He's in fundraising, capital raising, but anyway, I'll let him explain. I don't want to explain for him. So Benjamin, please tell us how you got where you are and what do you do right now. A little bit about
Sure.
yourself, essentially.
Sure, Roger. Thanks for the interview and for taking the time. Yeah, so Ben Kogut, I'm a partner and the director of capital raising and investor relations for a company called HJH Investments, and we specialize in acquiring commercial real estate. It's typically either a retail building, office building, or an industrial property. And our niche is buying properties that are already stabilized and cash flowing, that have high credit tenants with long-term leases already in place on day one. And we buy these properties typically for somewhere around a 9.5 or 10.5 cap rate. And so we basically just buying deals that have cash flow. And so that's a little bit about what I do professionally.
Gotcha. So how did you get here though?
Sure. So my journey has been about 15 years in commercial real estate. Started out as a broker, then transitioned back in 2010, 2011. Went to MBA school, got educated. Then from there, I went and worked for a high net worth family office here in Austin, doing asset management, acquisitions, dispositions, refinancing, financing, pretty much everything for a very large portfolio. And then from there, that kind of ran its course, and I went and started my own development company, investment company, and brokerage company
Okay.
back in like 2013, 14, somewhere in that range.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, and then from there, just started, developed a few things, did a lot of brokerage deals, and then started investing. In fact, I started my business relationship with my firm, HJH Investments, by being an investor first. And so I had an opportunity. The CEO, Corey, was working on a project, and we worked out a deal, and got involved in a couple of his real estate syndications. And then we, started talking. And as the company was growing, he wanted somebody to help him raise capital, because, as you know, capital raising is a very time intensive endeavor. Requires a lot of relationships and experience and knowledge and time to visit the properties. So even during COVID, I've been traveling almost either every week or every other week. So it's been it's an intense part of the business too. But yeah, that's a little bit about my background to get to where I'm at right now, to be in this firm. We've bought over $260 million worth of real estate.
Oh, okay.
Last year we bought a deal a month. This year we're on track for could be close to $100 million worth of acquisitions this year, maybe, if we finish up what we have under contract right now. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. I mean, that's pretty impressive, that the career path he seems to have gone through. Now, having said that, based on what you said, I mean, the cap rate, especially you mentioned, was impressive when we talked first, was like, wow. And then the secondary factor I was impressed with is the fact that you don't have a lot of headaches there when you acquire properties. I don't know how do you manage to acquire those properties, but that's an awesome deal you guys get. So with that being said, obviously, anybody who hears the cap rate obviously would be like pretty intrigued. So you're looking mostly, I would assume, for passive investors type, right? So yeah, please tell us about that. What without me mentioning all the attributes, I guess I shouldn't be. I'll let you mention who would be benefiting from connecting to you, who should reach out to you, and maybe you can help them out, stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah, thank you for that question. In general, anybody that's looking to put money to work as into commercial real estate as a passive investor. So we are a real estate syndication firm. Our mission is first and foremost to protect our investors' capital and then grow it after that. we structure all of our deals where our investors are going to be paid. Typically, at least historically, they've been paid an 8% preferred return every month, starting on the first month, because all these deals are already cash flowing. So as soon as we receive rents from the tenants on the first, we distribute an 8% dividend to the investors on the 15th. So anybody out there that's looking for more opportunity to have passive income, to not have to worry about the property, that's what we do. We go, we find the assets, we manage them. Some properties take more management. Some take almost no management. Some can, the tenants manage it. But we have all the resources and people in place to handle all these properties. And frankly, it's just it's all automated at this point. So I would say, it's open to accredited investors only. And we buy, you hear a lot of people talk about multifamily syndication. We do that, but not in multifamily. We do that for industrial properties, retail properties, and office properties. That so like, for example, right now we're about to acquire a Walgreens and a Dollar Tree. We bought a deal that was occupied by Academy Sports. We bought, we buy things that have these big tenants in there that we know, even during COVID, they pay the rent. There's certain exceptions, but in general, our portfolio is doing great.
Got you. Okay, I just got a follow-up question on that.
Sure.
What do you see, with the COVID, after COVID, those spaces having issues, maybe like after contracts run? Do you guys vet out that process, make sure, okay, we're safe for a few years or whatever the case is?
Yeah, so during COVID, back in March, we saw that there was going to be a lot of struggles with the tenants. So we proactively reached out to about 150 or 100, over 100 of our tenants. And we said basically upfront, I was like, listen, if you guys need, if you need some help, we're here for you. So the result of that meant we ended up working out a lot of deals where we would give either free rent or defer the rent for them to pay it until next year. In exchange, we asked them to execute on their option or extend their lease. For 1 month of free rent, we were asking for a year of lease extension, for example. Nice. And so that gave them, we are luckily in a position where we can help our tenants out so that they survive this current situation. And in exchange, they're going to commit, long-term to the property. So it's a win-win situation. And that's what we've pretty typically been handling these deals so far.
That's an awesome deal. That's a great idea, actually. That's awesome. Awesome. Perfect. All right. With that being said, the last question for you is about what's the one tip or one thing you've learned that you can share with everyone, either business and personal, as we talked about before, that'll help anybody who's listening.
Sure. So the one and best tip I can give anybody is that it's better to copy genius than create mediocrity.
Nice.
And what I mean by that is have a mentor. Have somebody that you look up to that you can copy or mimic or, basically recreate what they did so that you don't have to go out and recreate the wheel, so to speak. Right. And so that's what I've done in my career. I've had mentors who I've had for over 20 years now that are still really good friends of mine. People that I can go to that are further down the path, so to speak, in our business, to be able to be like, hey, what should I do in this scenario or that scenario? And they, oftentimes they've already learned that lesson. Right. And so that's what I would say.
That's a great tip, man. That's a perfect. I mean, like Tony Robbins says, modeling people who are successful. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you again, Ben. Taking the time and do this interview. Again, I'll post whatever I have about Ben and his investment and everything on top of the link, top of this videos.
I would just say go to hjhinvestments.com. You can check out all. We have a bunch of videos. We share with people how we find 10 cap deals and close deals, and how we structure deals. So we disclose all of that. It's all open, it's all on our website.
Cool, perfect. I'll post that link up there too. So yeah, you can go connect with him, and then yeah, reach out to him. Whoever is looking to be in this investment field, I think this is a great option. I know multifamily, I know office spaces, but yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing. So connect to him. Like I said, reach out to him. He's a great guy to talk to. So
Yeah, I'm here, guys. All right. Well, appreciate the interview, Roger. Appreciate it.
thank
Very
you
much.